So we recently installed these shelves, and as you can see, I've put up a few of the figures that I'm going to have up there. But my main goal now, or today, is to make a riser for the back of these shelves, so that way I can double up the amount of figures and have some taller, so that way it's not blocking anybody. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. So this is what I'm going to use for the risers. I'm going to cut this down to 24 inches long, 2 inches wide, and this is an inch thick. I'm going to cut 5 of those, and that should fit in the back of those smaller shelves. All right, guys, so here's that foam sheet you just seen a second ago. And as I mentioned or showed, I did do 2-inch width sides here. This piece of foam, as I mentioned, does have a curve, and my last one is going to end right where that curve really starts to become really noticeable. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically put this across here, and this particular T-square that I have is meant to use for cutting gyprock. So it's really long, but it works out for this. I do have a hot wire table. Unfortunately, I don't have it out right now, and I wasn't going to go unpack it just to do such a small amount of cuts. But if you're doing a bigger room of risers, I should say, not razors, then you might want to use a hot wire table to do multiple of these, because you pile up multiple of these sheets, just cut them in one go. It is 1 inch thick, so what I'm going to be doing is taking my blade, and I'm going to make sure it's nice and sharp. I got a sharpener here, and I'm just basically going to cut along where I have marked out where the 2 inches are. I'm going to do probably 2, maybe 3 cuts. I am going with the grain. Shouldn't take too long to cut through that. And then what I'll probably do is just lean it over the edge and break it off as I get closer, just so I don't have to cut all the way through and dull down the blade more. Doing the cuts with foam, it does have a lot of squeaking noises, especially when you get deeper. So I will put on a time lapse while I'm doing that so you can see what's going on. But this is a really easy, simple way of making risers. First time I've ever tried it, but I have had a few friends of mine who are in the diorama building and action figure collecting area that have done the same or similar thing. Anyway, let's get to it. All right, and for this last cut, I will actually show you in real time what I'm doing. So I'm just lining up the marks here. This particular T-square is 2 inches thick, so it's pretty easy to line it up and then just make sure that it's aligned against the side here. And because I'm cutting with a grain, when I snap it over the side of the table, it pretty much makes a straight cut there. But because I'm going with the grain, it's really easy to cut. And of course, my blade is really sharp. I haven't had to sharpen it yet, although if I was going to do any more of these, it would be about the time I would need to actually sharpen it. I could feel it starting to drag a little bit in the foam. So there's the cut. It's not all the way through. You bring it over the edge of the table, hold on to the extra part, and then you just basically do a swipe down and it breaks it off for you, and you have a nice clean. In this case, there's a little bit of a groove there, but all the rest of them pretty much came off flush with that. You can kind of see with that groove where I stopped cutting through. So if I had done a couple more swipes, I could have cut straight through on that. This piece being the warp piece, I might be able to use it for something like a smaller build. Otherwise, it's probably going to just be scrap. But as you can see, it sits flat because of the way it's been cut. And that's it. So there you have it. There are 5 2-inch by 1 inch high by 24-inch long risers. Now you could leave them as is, just the pink foam or blue foam or green foam, whichever color your foam is that you come with, that you've got available to you. I have noticed I've used blue foam and I've used this pink foam, and I have noticed that they are slightly different densities. So some of them cut a little bit easier than others, like the blue foam I found cuts a lot easier than this stuff does, or doesn't dull your blade as fast. For me, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to end up painting these white just so they kind of match on the shelf. But basically all I'm going to do is stick them side to side like this, the whole length of the shelf, in order to give me some risers. And just really quickly, if you're wondering what type of foam board I'm using, this is the foam board for this particular project. And here are the picture frame shelves that you can purchase at IKEA that I use to go along the wall as shelves for my figures. So here they are on the shelf, or shelves I should say, and they extend all the way down. There's a slight little gap at the very end down there of about probably 5-6 inches or less, and that's just because this was a little bit longer than I expected. You also may notice that I did not go ahead with painting them. My wife put them up there to keep them safe, and then after putting them up there I realized that I don't really need to paint them, because from my view you're not going to see that. You're just going to see the figures that are going to be standing above the ones in front. So that's it, guys. That's how you make some really easy risers. I hope that you enjoyed this little video, this little how-to video. If you did, click the like. If you're not already subscribed, click the subscription button. I have tons of videos out, be it anything from action figures to how-tos on dioramas and just dioramas that I've built. So yeah, check it out. Anyway, guys, stay nerdy.